Yo, what's up with y'all boys and girls, man? Hey, it's Jay Briggs here continuing to cook up this NBA action, man. Y'all know we do it on the jam session. We cook up every single game, every single day. Money making Monday, ladies and gentlemen. New week, new goals, new opportunities. Yesterday, we went 1-1 officially on the premium side. We cashed our NBA player of the day. We had the Indiana Pacers. It was a sweat. Man, we were laying 11.5. They won by 12, but a win is a win. A cash is a cash. A green is green. We've hit 4 in a row on that NBA player of the day, looking for our 5th straight today. You can scoop that play up over at Pickdawgz Premium. There's a link in the description. It takes you right there. $25, man. Get you the top play of the day. Or you can hop on something long term, man. It was a really profitable week for us last week betting hoops. And we're just trying to keep the momentum rolling forward. Hey, got a really nice card today. 9 games, and y'all know the drill, man. We're going to cook it up and try to smash it per usual. As always, I appreciate each and every one of you that continue to tune in and watch this video. Hey, I'm active on Instagram and Twitter all day long. There's a link for both in the description below. Of course, I have premium plays over at the site. But without further ado, ladies and gentlemen, let's do what we do, which is kick the crap out of the books betting hoops. Let's make some money tonight. Without further ado, man, let's hop right into tonight's NBA action. First game of the day. We're in Charlotte, where the Hornets are 5.5-point home dogs with the Orlando Magic rolling in total 213.5. Hey, we've already seen these two teams match up once this season. The Magic beat up on the Hornets in that game, 114-89. It wasn't that long ago either. It was on the 12th of this month in Orlando. Not surprised to see that happen. Orlando at home at the crib goes stupid, dummy, crazy. We've known that. Orlando at home last year, they were 22-6 as home favorites. This season, they're starting to show those same signs and tendencies at home that we can trust them. We can lay points with Orlando. We can almost bet them blindly when they're at home. They're that dominant at home at the crib. On the road, they're not nearly as dominant as they are at home. Still were profitable last season, but they were closer to 50-50. And I don't necessarily like the spotting situation for Orlando. I love the spotting situation here for the Charlotte Hornets. One of my favorite spots I tell y'all about all the time. Bounce back spot at home. That also sets up to be a revenge game. And that's the spot the Hornets find themselves in tonight. They did just lose their last game on the road to Milwaukee, 125-119. And they have lost 3 of their last 4. But their last 2 home games were wins. They beat Milwaukee 115-114. And they beat Detroit 123-121, and I think they have a legitimate shot to win this game outright tonight as well. Magic laying points on the road, that's not their spot, not their situation. They are the better basketball team, but the way Charlotte has showed up in certain spots and situations, I trust them here tonight. I think they have a legitimate shot to win this game outright. I want the points in my back pocket, and I also want to attack some plus money here in this one. Let's keep it rolling. Next game up. We're in Detroit, where the Pistons are 5.5-point home favorites over the Toronto Raptors. Total 222.5. This is a game I'm not totally in love with. I don't not necessarily like the spotting situation for either team. Toronto comes into this one on a back end of a back-to-back with travel. They did get beat up yesterday by the Cleveland Cavs. Cleveland continues to be a dominant money-making machine, the number 1 ATS team this season. The Raptors have been a solid ATS team, and that's why I'm going to lean towards them in this basketball game. 11-6 against the number thus far this season. I don't like the spot for the Pistons. They're coming off a pretty significant road trip, and listed in this game right now currently I see Cade Cunningham doubtful to play. I'm not laying points with the Pistons without Cade Cunningham. This was still a team that had one of the worst records in NBA history just a season ago. They are improved. I do like what I'm seeing from them. They should win the game, but that doesn't mean we go and lay this many points, especially without their best player. So I just want the points in my back pocket with the team that's been a great ATS team to start the season. They've been a money-making team to start the season. I know they're on a back end of a back-to-back with travel. That's what makes me nervous, but in my opinion, that still doesn't warrant laying points with the Pistons without Cade Cunningham, especially a sizable number like this. So Toronto, I know they're not a great team. They're a bad team, but bad teams cover. And we take bad teams that cover on the jam session. Give me Toronto plus the points here in this one. Let's keep it rolling. Next game up. We're in Indiana, where the Pacers are 6.5-point home favorites over the New Orleans Pelicans. Total 225.5. Shout out the Indiana Pacers, man. They were our NBA play of the day yesterday. We cashed our 4th play of the day in a row. We're looking for our 5th NBA play of the day in a row today. Should we go back-to-back on the Pacers? It's a great question. I'm going to tell y'all this. This is what I will tell y'all. I'm for sure betting Indiana. Are they the NBA play of the day or not? You're going to have to find out over at Pickdawgz Premium. But we're for sure on the Pacers here in this one. I understand they're on the back end of a back-to-back. No travel, though. They're still at home, at the crib, and we can trust the Pacers. At home, at the crib. They have one of the best home venues, one of the best home environments. Last 2 seasons combined, Indiana has been a profitable home team. And I think we're able to trust them in this spot, in this situation. On the flip side, the best situation, the best spot is this to trust the do not bet list. And right now, currently, the New Orleans Pelicans are still on the list. They're terrible. Banged up, injured, battered. This is their G League team, a.k.a. the Birmingham Squadron, and we look to continue to fade them. I am starting to see some guys listed as questionable. They will be returning here soon. Guys like DeJounte Murray, guys like C.J. McCollum. But I got a feeling that they're not playing tonight. I still don't think they're ready. Still don't think they're playing tonight. We will have to reevaluate the Pelicans here soon when these guys start to come back in the lineup. But right now, currently, the Pelicans are still a fade. They've been terrible on the road. We trust the Pacers at home. No need to overcomplicate this one, man. Give me Indiana. I'm laying the points when I'm at home, at the crib. Here in this one tonight. Let's keep it rolling, man. Next game up, we got my favorite team, the Dallas Mavericks, out on the road facing the Atlanta Hawks. Hawks, 3.5-point home favorites in what world? Like Mitch be saying, on what fucking planet should the Hawks be 3.5-point home favorites over the Dallas Mavericks? It don't even make sense. No matter how you break it down, no matter how you try to slice it, the shit don't make sense. And I'm not trying to overcomplicate it. Y'all know where I'm at, man. I'm on the Dallas Mavericks plus the points and outright on the money line. Look, let me get the biasness out the way. Bro, we were just in the NBA Finals a season ago. Did y'all forget? We were the number 1 team in the tougher conference last year. We proved that by banking it to the NBA Finals. The Dallas Mavs. I know we're missing our best player in Luka Doncic. I'm also aware that we're on the back end of a back-to-back with travel following a tough loss, overtime loss to the Miami Heat yesterday. I'm well aware of that. We should have won that fucking game yesterday. We should have won. The way we lost was disgusting, and to not cover was even more disgusting. I get it. But that still doesn't mean the Hawks should be 3.5-point home favorites over the Mavs. On what world and on what planet? Y'all knew I was going to come here tripping. Y'all already knew. As soon as y'all opened up y'all zap and y'all seen the Hawks was favored, y'all knew I was going to come in here tripping. This is my problem with the Hawks. Everybody always asks, what's your beef with the Hawks? Why do you hate the Hawks so much? Why are they the number 1 team on the DNB? For shit like this, on what planet should the Hawks be 3.5-point home favorites over the Mavs? In what world? The Mavs proved last year that they were the better team. Made it all the way to the finals. The Hawks were a playing team. Like, what are we doing here? What are we doing? Man for man, player for player, roster for roster. Dallas is 3 times the team that the Hawks are, bro. Now, I got the biasness out the way. Let's talk numbers. Let me just take y'all to the numbers. This shit don't make sense no matter how you slice it. Since 2023, let's go through the home numbers, man. The Atlanta Hawks, since 2023, are 17-32 against the number, dating back to last season. 17-32. They've only covered in 34.7% of their home games. That is 3rd worst in the league. Phoenix was worse in this span. Washington was worse in that span. Both teams are right at 34%. Atlanta's at 34.7. Now, so the numbers tell us the Hawks at home, ass. Same subset since 2023. Looking at the away teams, you know who's the 2nd best away team in that span? The Dallas Mavericks. 37-22 against the number. They've covered in 62.7% of the games in that exact same time span. So what that tells us is one team is hot as garbage at home in the Atlanta Hawks. There's a reason they're the number 1 team on the DNB. And the other team, man, just be printing money at damn near a 70% clip. This shit don't make sense no matter how you slice it. Every sharp chaser on the planet today is going to be on Atlanta. It's going to be on Atlanta. The spot for the Mavs isn't sexy. It isn't great on the back end of a back-to-back following overtime. But that doesn't warrant the Hawks being favored. It doesn't. On no planet. On no planet. Had the Mavs been favored in this game like they should be, like Mavs -3, then maybe I would have thought about taking the Hawks home dog, favorable spot. No. But actually going to the window and expecting the Hawks to win a game, and let alone lay points with the Hawks, you're asking for it, bro. I had to come here and just let y'all know, bro. I don't trip often on the show, but sometimes, bro, I have to. On no fucking planet should the Hawks be favored over Dallas. That's my story. I'm sticking to it. Y'all know where I'm at, and y'all know what we do. We're on the Mavs plus the points and outright money line. Hearing this. Let's keep it rolling. Next game up. We're in Boston. We're the defending champs. The Boston Celtics are laying 10.5 points on the Los Angeles Clippers. Total 217.5. Interesting game here. Both teams coming to this one on the back end of a back-to-back. No travel for Boston. They were at home yesterday against Minnesota. Failed to cover in that game. The Clippers beat up on the Philadelphia 76ers in Philly yesterday. Dominant win for them, 125-99. I really like what I'm seeing from the Clippers right now. I do. I can't lie to y'all. Last year, if you're an OG, you know last year our mantra was fuck the Clippers respectfully. But it was mainly because they were tremendously overrated and overvalued. Tremendously overrated and overvalued. It got to the point where at the All-Star break, the Clippers had the second best odds behind the Boston Celtics to win the NBA title. On what fucking planet were the Clippers going to do that? And so down the stretch a lot last season, we were just fading them blindly because I wasn't seeing the Clippers team that everybody else was seeing. As somebody who watches almost every NBA game on the nightly, I promise y'all I was not seeing that Clippers team. They had a stretch of playing well, but in my opinion, they were overrated and overvalued, and we cashed a ton fading the Clippers second half of the season. Right now, currently, it's no longer fuck the Clippers, and they're no longer overrated and overvalued. They're really underrated and undervalued, and I love betting on underrated and undervalued teams. I like the Clippers plus the points in this one. I can't pass up 10.5 points with the team playing as well as the Clippers are right now currently. They're on the back end of a back-to-back with travel, going to play the team who I think and have constantly told y'all is still the best team in the league by a pretty wide margin in the Boston Celtics. I do think the Celtics are still the best team in the league, but they have not been a money-making team. 7-10 against the number thus far this season are the Boston Celtics. If you've been betting them, you've been losing money in the grand scheme of things, and I don't trust them, especially on a back end of a back-to-back, laying this style number on a team playing as well as the Clippers are. Is basically what I'm saying here. So it's no longer fuck the Clippers. They're underrated, undervalued. They're no longer overrated, overvalued, and I can bet on them. That's all I'm here to tell y'all. And I don't like what I'm seeing from Boston from a money-making perspective. Still think they're the best team in the league, but laying this many points, especially on the back end of a back-to-back, I cannot do. Give me the Clippers plus the points. Here in this one. Let's keep it rolling. Next game up, we're in Memphis, where the Grizzlies are 10.5-point home favorites over the Portland Trail Blazers. Total 232.5. I'm going to call a spade a spade. It's probably my least favorite game on the night. I'm not rushing to bet this game. Forced to play it, I would lean towards Portland. It's a revenge spot for them. The Grizzlies did embarrass them the last time they played. Final score was 134-89 in Portland earlier this month. It was on the 10th of November. Portland, they've been a decent ATS team. I wouldn't be surprised if they came here and kept this game semi-competitive. John Morant could be back tonight for the Grizzlies. I think that's why the line is so big here in this one. The Grizzlies have won 3 of their last 4. They dominated Denver 105-90, but then turned around and lost to Denver in the quick revenge spot, 122-110 at home. They eased by the Sixers, 117-111, and then went on the road and beat the Bulls. Memphis, the book's still out for me, and I'm definitely not comfortable laying this many points with them. Portland, a sneaky team. We just saw them beat the Rockets outright in their last game, 104-98 on the road. Really good win for the Portland Trail Blazers in that spot, in that situation. They've also won 3 of their last 5 with wins at home over the Hawks and over the Timberwolves. The Blazers are a sneaky little team. And in a game like this, I'd much rather have this many points in my back pocket. So I'm going to lean towards Portland plus the points. Here in this. Let's keep it rolling. Next game up. We're in Denver, where the Denver Chicken Nuggets are laying 4.5 points on the New York Knicks. Total 232.5. Y'all know where I'm at. I'm still fading the Knicks. The Knicks are the Los Angeles Clippers from a season ago. That's how I feel about them. Overrated, overvalued. Prove to me that you are who everybody thinks you are. I'm just not going to anoint you as the second best team in the East. I can't do that. I can't. You're 9-7 on the season. That's who you are. And you don't have a prior track record of being a good team. The Knicks have done nothing in my entire lifetime. So I cannot just crown them as this team that everybody else wants to crown them as. The team that I can crown is the team that has the 3-time MVP. The team that has won a championship. The team that goes stupid, dummy, crazy at home, at the crib. Has a track record of doing so. I'm on the Nuggets, man. It's a bounce-back spot at home for them as well. They lost their last home game. They don't do too much losing in Denver. Y'all know that. We love betting Denver in Denver here on the Jam Session. Knicks, overrated, overvalued. They're a fade. Denver goes stupid, dummy, crazy in Denver. I highly doubt they lose back-to-back games in Denver. I think it's a lock-in spot for them. Jokic also think will have an absolute field day on the Knicks today. They have nobody that can guard him. Karl Anthony Towns right now listed as game time decision. Even if he does play, he's probably going to foul out in the second quarter. Jokic is going to eat him alive. He no longer has Rudy Gobert to help him down there. Remember, in Minnesota, he had Gobert to kind of take away a lot of the work of guarding Jokic. Nah, it's on your shoulders tonight, buddy. And you're going to get cooked if you play. I'm on the Nuggets. I'm laying the points. No need to overcomplicate it. Remember, the Denver Nuggets go stupid, dummy, crazy at home, at the crib. Let's keep it rolling. Next game up. We're in Golden State, where the Warriors are 12.5-point home favorites over the Brooklyn Nets. Total 224.5. Hey, them Nets outright win yesterday in Sacramento. 108-103. Sacramento's ass. Let's just call a spade, bro. That team is terrible. They really probably deserve to be on the DNB. We'll reassess the DNB this week. Thanksgiving week, perfect week to reassess the DNB. We'll do that later on in the week. But shout out the Nets, man. Shout out the Nets. They've been a money-making machine thus far this season. Right now, currently, Brooklyn, man, they are the number 2 ATS team in the league behind the Cleveland Cavs. Cleveland is 14-4 against the number. They've covered in 77.8% of their games. Right behind them are the Brooklyn Nets at 11-5-1 against the number. They've covered in 68.8% of their games. Man, getting 12.5 points with a team that's covered that many games, man, is hard to pass up. But I am going to have to pass it up, and I am going to have to fade them. I'm on the Golden State Warriors, and I'm laying the points with them here in this one. I think this is a lock-in, get-right spot for the Warriors. This is a bounce-back spot at home, at the crib. Coming off of a loss on the road to San Antonio, kind of a head-scratching loss in that one, 104-94. The Warriors are more dominant on the road than they are at home. So for them to lose that game to San Antonio in that fashion, I was quite surprised. But with the Nets on the back end of a back-to-back with travel coming into this one, not a huge travel spot from Sacramento to Oakland or to Golden State, but still some travel. I just think the Warriors, man, they need a bounce-back game, and they probably line up the Nets in this one. We just saw the Nets get beat up by the Sixers on the road. They were super competitive in that game. They should have won that game, and then all of a sudden they just died out of nowhere. And I wouldn't be surprised if we saw something very similar to that in this game, where it's competitive a lot of the way through, and then late fourth quarter when their legs die because they're on the back end of a back-to-back with travel, Golden State extends that lead, hits like 3 threes. Next thing you know, Warriors are up like 14 points. Like, I wouldn't be surprised if that's the style game we get tonight. Y'all know what I'm talking about, man. I know y'all be watching them Warriors games. That's how they be sometimes. Shout out the Nets. They've been a money-making machine. We will continue to bet the Nets in certain spots and situations this season. Right now, currently, the number 2 ATS team in the NBA. I just don't like the spot for them tonight. Don't like the spot for them tonight. Give me Golden State. I'm going to lay it. Here in this last and final game of the night. Speaking of the Sacramento Kings, man, here they are at home, at the crib, 4.5-point home dogs with our favorite money-making team, the Oklahoma City Thunder. Buddies rolling in. I'm on the Thunder. I'm laying the points. No need to overcomplicate this one, man. I just don't like what I'm seeing from Sacktown. I thought that DeMar DeRozan coming over to Sacramento was going to give them that extra oomph. He was going to be the star that kind of pushed the team over the edge, and they were going to be a much better team this season, but they're still the Kings. The same old Kings is who the Sacramento Kings are right now currently. And I want to fade them. Short, sweet, simple. They haven't looked good in this homestand that they've been in. This was supposed to be a get-right homestand, and well, it has been anything but that. They lost to Minnesota in overtime, did beat the Jazz, solid win, but then turn around and have lost the last three. To Atlanta at home, bad loss. Got aired out by the Clippers on the road, 104-88, and then last night lost to the Nets. So they're on the back end of a back-to-back. No travel, but still, they got the number one regular season team from a season ago, the Oklahoma City Thunder buddies rolling in, who's getting healthier. They now have a big in the equation with Hardenstein. Remember, they were playing without a big there for a while with Holmgren, Hardenstein, and Jalen Williams out. But now with Hardenstein back in there, they kind of have that same back dominant presence down low. I think the Thunder come in here, D these boys up, and get out of here with a win. The Kings can't shoot the three ball. And against a team like Oklahoma City that plays really good defense, that can shoot a three ball, that gets to the line, comes in here with the rest advantage. It's a terrible spot for the terrible spot for the Sacramento Kings. I'm on the Thunder. I'll lay it. Hearing this. And that's going to conclude this episode of my NBA Jam Session. As always, I appreciate each and every one of you that continue to tune in and watch this video. Money Making Monday, ladies and gentlemen. New week, new goals, new opportunities. We smashed last week, man. We smashed it. Let's keep the momentum rolling forward. You can scoop up my NBA Player of the Day today. We've hit 4 in a row, looking for our 5th straight. Or you can just hop on something long-term. Hop on a weekly pass and get everything that I'm offering this week. Thanksgiving week, man. Let's make it a profitable one. I appreciate each and every one of y'all more than y'all know. It's been your guy, Jay Briggs, man. I'll see y'all tomorrow. I'm out of here. Peace.